Alright guys, going to do a short video on how to install Python and get my tool working. Eventually I want to have this be an executable that you can just download and install without having to do this, but that'll come in the future. I'm only going to show instructions for Windows. If you're using Linux, you probably already know what you need to do, and for Apple or Macintosh or whatever it's called now, I don't have a VM to test with to show you how to do that, but you can find videos on YouTube. So you'll start here on the GitHub page. Click code, click download. That'll ask you where to save it. I've already got it saved, so we'll skip doing that. Then you go to Google, type in install Python Windows. That'll take you to Python's webpage. You can either click on this button here, or if you end up going straight to the Python page, you just go to download Windows and click on that button, and that'll again ask you where to save it. We've already done that, so I'll cancel out of that. So for installing Python, right click on the Python installer, run as administrator. It'll ask you a couple things here. You'll want to check this box that says add Python 3.10 to path. I don't know if you need to do that to install or to get my program to work, but typically what that does is it allows you to run programs from more locations. So let's do it anyway. May not work or may not be needed for my program, but is probably going to make things easier regardless if you want to use Python more for other things than beyond my program. While it's doing this, I'm also going to unzip the zip file. I personally am using 7-zip, so I can do extract here. You can use whatever program you'd like. That's going to create this folder here. And okay, that's done. So now when you go into here, this has a bunch of text files. These are filters that I've created and uploaded, whatever the most recent version is that I've created those with. That's if you don't want to install Python and you just want to download the filter and use what I've got, then you could do that. For this, I'm going to delete those just so you can see that the file is being made. Now from here, you highlight this taskbar and do CMD for command window, hit enter, and this will bring you over to a command prompt where you have to install one dependency that this program needs. The command is pip install requests. When you hit enter, in my case I've already installed this, so you won't see the same thing on the screen, but it's very quick. And once that's done, then you should be able to run the program. Now, there's two ways to do this. You can either double-click on the icon over here, and that will run the program, or from this command prompt, you can just type 0 and tab, and it'll tab out the name of the program, and you can enter, and it'll run it. Now, the benefit of doing it here is if there's an error, it'll tell you the error message in this screen, and then you can report back and create an issue on the GitHub page and tell me what error you got. If you don't do that from this window, if you were to just come here and double click on this icon and you got an error, the program would close immediately and you wouldn't see any error message. So running it from the command prompt is at least beneficial for that. You can just click generate filter and it'll start running in the background. You can see a bunch of stuff going here. I'll let you play around with looking at the settings and options on the other tabs. The other thing that I wanted to show you really quickly is inside this scripts folder, there's a couple subscripts that the main tool is using to do what it wants to do. And what it's doing here is it's downloading some data from POE.Ninja and creating some CSV files, which I then modify and do a couple things in order to create the filter. One of these things is it goes through and it removes duplicates because the POE filter system is not, it doesn't look at individual items, it looks at base types, but POE.Ninja does look at the individual items, so it'll end up having, multiple items in there, and so to make things simpler, I remove the duplicates. But once in a blue moon, depending on what it is that I'm doing with the tool or what you might be doing in terms of changing your settings, sometimes certain changes will cause this duplicate removal process to get screwed up. And if that happens, what it ends up looking like is you make changes to your filter and then you generate a new filter, but the changes don't take place. It generates a filter like the old filter was. If that happens, let me see if this is done yet. No, it's still working. If that happens, the fix for that is to come in here and just highlight all of the CSV files, delete them, reopen the program, and then generate a new filter. That's it. But I wanted to let you know about that because if you're looking at this, at least now you know where to go to do that. But typically you should need to do that, and the filter that it creates will be placed up here in the parent folder. And that's it. That's all you got to do. So enjoy.